Oh, we're a long way from home. We're back in Paris!
Will you leave today and enter the world of random land?
That's right, you heard me correctly. We are really here, halfway around the world, in Paris, France. Look, it's the Eiffel Tower over there. You know, the real one. I mean, what comes to mind when you think of Paris? Fashion, culture, revolutions and democracy, and of course, art. I mean, look at this. See what I'm talking about? Art. And speaking of art, there's probably no place in the world more famous for art than what's right here in front of us, the Museum of the Louvre. Now, the Louvre has a very long and very fascinating history. A long, long time ago, there used to be a fort here to protect the Franks from the Vikings. You know, the real ones. Erdy verdy, we want your France. But then later, French kings built their palaces here right in the center of Paris until Louis, one of the numbers, took off and built an even bigger, more impressive palace at Versailles. Well, then along came the pesky French Revolution, and the people took this place back. And instead of being a palace for French kings, it is now a palace for French art. And in fact, many of the world's greatest art treasures are to be found within these buildings. As if the Palace of the Louvre wasn't big enough, once it became the Museum of the Louvre, it was actually added to and added to and added to until now, if you were to take all these buildings and lay them end to end, you would have 8 miles of art gallery to walk through. I don't know if you know this, but that's a lot of art. That means that there's literally miles and miles and miles of art in here. But perhaps the most famous art of all the art in here is the Mona Lisa. Pretty amazing. Probably the most famous painting in the world. The Mona Lisa. I mean, that right there, that's crazy. Leonardo painted that. Da Vinci, not the Ninja Turtle. Although I'm sure he was probably a pretty good painter too. He paints with his swords, so, right? Came to see the Mona Lisa and made a Ninja Turtles joke. Classy. A lot of people who see the Mona Lisa remark on how small the painting looks, but really, if you look closely next to the full-size humans, it's a pretty big painting. I mean, if it were in my house, it would look huge, but the way it's set up on that huge wall over there, all by itself, it's really not doing it any favors. It does look sort of tiny, especially compared to this giant monster painting that it's looking at. I mean, that's the size of several city buses and 3 or 4 Mississippi Mamas. You know what What? Of the millions and millions and millions of people who visit the Louvre each year, it is estimated that upwards of 80% of them come into this room just to see the Mona Lisa, spend a few seconds looking at her, and then entirely leave the museum. Of the other 20%, most of them will come in here, look at the Mona Lisa, and then maybe go down and see her cousin, the armless Venus DeMilo. What happened to her arms anyway? She must not have been a very good arm wrestler. These people are very delicately admiring the backside of Venus DeMilo. And I gotta say, that's an angle on her that you don't see too often, and there's quite a lot going on back there. Boy, am I learning. Now, it seems crazy that people would come here and just look at the Mona Lisa, maybe come down and look at this, and then leave. But I have to admit, the first time that I came here, I did the very same thing. So now that I am back in France, I started thinking to myself, what about the other, 7.999 miles of art in the Louvre? I bet if we took a look, we could find some pretty weird things in here, huh? That's right, you know where this is going. It's time to find some weird things at the Louvre. Come on. She looks like she's ready to play pool. I got the cue ball. Here in these beautiful galleries, amongst all of the perfectly normal Greek and Roman statuary, such as, all those nude ladies and naked guys showing off his CDs and really, really uncomfortable yoga, is a statue that I thought was just a little bit weird. Take a look at this. Now, I cannot read French, so I don't know if just every Roman child had a crazy goose to play with and wrestle with and be best friends with, or this is some kind of really unusual metaphor. The baby's strangling his goose, but look how stoked that baby is. The goose, not so much. Weird. All right, I don't want to pick on the Romans here, but I found a whole bunch of other weird stuff just in this room alone. For example, what appears to be Pan pulling a needle out of somebody's foot.
Hi, I'm working.
A weird combination human, horse, and fish guy rescuing a dude with no legs. And this statue of an old man who appears to be disemboweling some sort of animal. What sort of animal that is, I can't tell you, because that is a very weird head. Actually, I don't care who you are, that's a little bit weird. So much art in the Louvre, and also, so many stairs. So many stairs. By the way, look at all these crazy ceilings. I mean, the building itself is a work of art. It would take a long time to even spend 10 seconds looking at each ceiling, much less each painting. Oh. Would you look at that? That is one ugly baby. Cool. In some of the newer galleries, it's easy to forget that this place was once a royal palace until you turn the corner and actually see some of the furniture that the kings of France used. It was not that long ago in the scheme of things that people like you and me would have never been allowed in here and could have never seen treasures like this. I mean, we could have lied and said we were here to view the tapestries.
Tapestries?
This is a palace, isn't it? You do have tapestries.
This is a palace, and we have many tapestries.
But if you are Scottish Lord, then I am Mickey Mouse. Sorry, my mind always goes straight to Indiana Jones. Now, this here behind me is a portrait of King Louis XIV that he originally had painted to send to somebody else somewhere else. But he liked it so much, he decided to keep it and hang it in his palace. Now, if you had come over to my house and I had a picture of myself this big hanging on the wall, you would think I was a little bit weird. But the painting itself is not what I think is weird. Check out the king's shoes. Like, do you think he was wearing those because he was a short guy and he wanted to seem tall, so he wore some platform shoes? You gotta figure, if you're getting your portrait painted, why not just have the guy paint you tall? Like, who's gonna know the difference? That seems a little weird.
Portraits of French kings and French emperors make sense, but why is there a portrait of
Emperor Palpatine?
Strike me down with all of your hatred.
Amongst all of these beautiful paintings is this. Twins. Twins are always weird. Ah, yes. A portrait of none other than Miss Elizabeth Bennet. And over here, Mr. Darcy? I was about to make another Mr. Darcy joke until I noticed that this guy's name apparently was Legs. Hey, how you doing there? It's me, Legs. I mean, technically I don't know that his name is actually Legs because I can't read French and I can say anything. But I'm totally gonna go with that guy's name is Legs because it's better. Hashtag art. There's no rules. Weird. The title of this painting is The Annoying Daughter. Look at her, she's like, hey dad, can I have some money? Can I have some money, please? Dad, daddy, dad. I wish I had sons. Daddy, I need some cream for the cracks on my face. It's amazing, so much art. Captain Barbossa?
Aye, it be me, Captain Barbossa. Yar, where be Jack Sparrow?
I have walked past this painting like 3 or 4 times. I mean, it's really not that weird. But to be honest with you, it kind of creeps me out. Come and play with us, Danny. They're looking at me, aren't they? Walk away. Walk away. Pretty sure what's happening here is that this little angel just let this lady know she was nude. Finally, a statue that realizes it's not wearing any clothes. If you were wondering what happened to this guy's clothes, don't worry, they're over there. Here you have historic scenes of conquest and nudity, fighting, reaching for stuff, peace pipe smoking, dude with a gun. And then over here, in between all that, there's a painting of some shellfish sitting out by a lizard. What is this? I'm trying to figure out, just by looking at it, what in the world happened here? Did some British gentleman chase away somebody who dropped all of his food and gun? Sir, Sir, you might want to come get your lobster before this lizard eats it.
Lizard love lobster.
You know, one of the weird things I noticed earlier while I was walking around was this carving. If you take a really close look at it, actually, on second thought, I'm not touching that. We could talk about this guy though. He is stabbing his own eye.
I'm just tired of seeing.
Now that's weird. Look at this guy. I don't know who he was, but he was somebody's homie. Here is a painting of a guy between two paintings. And I was at first gonna just be like, look at a painting of a guy sitting between two paintings. And then I looked across and noticed this is one of the paintings in the painting. Like, who did that? And then I looked over here and noticed there's the other painting. See this lady right here? She's just chilling over there. And then you gotta wonder, they put this lady right across from herself in that painting, but then they put the old lady way over across the room instead of putting her here. This whole thing is a little weird. Actually, now I'm thinking this dude might have painted those other paintings, because here's a painting of that same guy painting a painting. Was he painting one of those paintings in that painting? And then who painted this painting? Did he paint that painting of himself? At this point, all of the art is starting to blur together. I can no longer pick out individual pieces. I am getting so overstimulated. There's art everywhere. That's art, and that's art. There's art on the ceiling, and look at this. Even the floor is art. Art. It would take you like 100 years to stop at every piece of art in this building for like a minute. 100 years, maybe 1,000 years, maybe 1,000,000 years. I don't think I have that many years left. Look at this. This is the very famous Winged Victory of Samothrace statue, and a lot of people are admiring it. I have no idea why it's famous. All I know is, believe it or not, this is actually more famous than Selena Gomez. Luckily, my friend Euromaestro is here who can explain what the heck is this, Euromaestro?
Hi, so this is the Winged Victory of Samothrace, and it represents, for the ancient Greeks, a winged woman represented victory. So this was used to represent a naval victory. And so you notice the top part is white marble, and the bottom part is a gray marble, which represents the plinth, so part of the boat. And she's representing landing for the victory. It was discovered in the 19th century. Part of it is restored. This right wing here is actually restored from plaster. But the rest of it is original.
What happened to her head though?
You know, I don't know, and I should know, but I have no idea what happened to the head, but I don't think it was recovered.
Luckily they found her hand, and look at it. It kind of looks just a little bit like she's flipping somebody off.
It does.
Luckily,
maybe she's pissed because she lost her head. Weird.
we have now entered the Apollo Gallery. Look at how ornate and crazy this room is. This is what I imagine the whole building must have looked like when the kings and queens were hanging out in here. It's kind of dark and creepy in here now that the sun is going down, but look at the ceiling. They do not have anything like this in Orange County, California, where I'm from, believe me. I have just so many questions about this room, but what I really want to know is, what the heck is that? You got these dudes on either side choking each other, and then in the center, you have the Lion King giving birth to snakes in a bowl of ritual weirdness. Also, he has a basket of fruit on his head, and he has no body, and he's just sort of chilling there like a lion face with hair. And then what's even weirder is, look at the painting above him. That is a guy shooting arrows like some sort of water snake thing that killed a lady. Oh, and just when I thought this room couldn't get any more overwhelming, look at this. That is the actual crown of Louis XV. A real live king wore that thing on his head, and those are real diamonds and rubies and emeralds all over that. Where do you even get a diamond like that? There's no way you're picking up one of those at the mall. Wait a minute. You don't think?
You don't think they're blood diamonds, do you?
Remember the part where Leonardo DiCaprio died?
You killed Leonardo DiCaprio, Louis the 15th.
I mean, that's a king's crown. There's a king's crown in here. That's weird. Also, there's a weird bull right there. So, you can tell your grandma. Whoa, check this out. Here we have a statue of a lion playing basketball.
I love me some b-ball.
I'm the best piece of art in this museum.
Hello, whatever. You know, there's other people in here besides you.
Not other people who matter.
Are you kidding? Is he kidding me with that? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Rude.
These guys are like, here, take these swords. We don't even want them anymore. And this guy's getting them like, oh, those are sharp. See, art is easy. I know about art. This is a guy who just realized that his wife has been dead right there for a while. You ever do that thing where like you go to work and you're doing a great job and your day is going well and you're fighting and you're a warrior, but then at some point you realize you forgot to wear your pants? If that sounds familiar, we got a painting for you right here.
Hey dude, it's me, Keanu Reeves, and I totally forgot my pants.
I don't even mind. I enjoy this breeze.
I'm enjoying the view.
Oh yeah.
This painting is so weird.
I'm a horse!
Hashtag art.
Look at the size of this place.
Now what we have here is a guy who is very satisfied with his nose job.
I just love the new me. Mine didn't turn out so good.
People in ancient Egypt stood and sat very awkwardly. Here we have a whole bunch of Egyptian sarcophagi, and here is a particularly fine example. But I noticed something a little bit weird about this one. Check out the size of those feet. I am not sure what this person died of, but one thing is for sure. Once they were gone, those were some mighty big shoes to fill. Now those things are weird. I don't even think I need to explain this one, do I? This is just weird. Here we have a whole room of mummified animals. You have cat mummies, dog mummies, fish mummies, mummified falcons, and maybe the weirdest of all, look at this, goat mummy. I mean, I can understand the cats. Everybody loves their cats, but who mummifies their goat? Come on, Billy, you're coming with me. Just me and my goat, sharing the afterlife, forever and ever and ever, forever and ever and ever, forever and ever. I don't care who you are or where you come from. That is weird. Everywhere you look, it's art, art, art. So you can see, there's no way to fit all of this art into one visit, much less one video here at the Louvre. So hopefully one day we'll get to come back and explore even more treasures, because we've only scratched the surface. But for now, I gotta get out of this place before my eyes see one more piece of art and my brain explodes. Oh my gosh, that woman's holding a Mona Lisa postcard. That's art. No more. Thank goodness we escaped the art. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this visit to the world's greatest art museum, the Louvre, here in Paris, France. Make sure to check out our other videos and subscribe for future videos about more weird things. Check out the links below in the description for our weird t-shirts, and I'll see you guys in Random Land. Bye-bye! It's just really cool to see whole families painted here. Here you have grandpa, and then you have dad over here, and then your horse. So my friend Euromeister from Periscope here and I have been admiring this painting up here, which, look at these dark and old school looking paintings. If you look up at this one though, it really looks, coloration wise, like it should have been airbrushed on the side of a 1970s van, huh? What do you think? And then of course we're examining this dandy underneath, who I was just informed by my friend here, once went to prison.
Don't mess with me.
How do you say "don't mess with me" in French?
Don't mess with me.
Yeah, how do you say that in French?
I have to think about that.
If somebody was coming up and getting in this guy's face in prison, what would he say in French? Like,
Don't touch me.
get back. What would he say?
Don't touch me.
Oh, well, how did that go in French again,
Ne me
though?
touche pas.
It sounds so polite, though. Wouldn't he say something mean? Like, maybe something in German?
Have you heard? Yeah, German would be terrible.
German would be, "Ah,
Schnell, Schnicker.
Snickers."
Das ist verboten.
Here's a little bonus fun one for those of you who, like me, are huge Mark Twain fans. It's this, the Louvre des Antiquaires. This building right here, Mark Twain slept here. This used to be the Grand Hotel du Louvre back in 1867 when he wrote The Innocents Abroad. He slept there. Mark Twain, my #1 homeboy. Okay, that's not related at all to the rest of this video, but I don't care. Bonus right there, a bonus Twain. Isn't that in Twain? Insane. I could make a sane river joke, but I won't, because that would be just weird. You know, I've been in Europe for a couple of days now, and I was actually starting to get a little homesick, but luckily I saw my mummy. That is so crazy. That is legitimately an ancient dead body. And right here, you have a guy who's like super into dead bodies, which is really weird. Man, I see why it's called the Book of the Dead. It's so long, if you read the whole thing, you'd be bored to death. Right? Reading. Who does that? You know, there's a lot of good information in the Book of the Dead here. My eye just keeps being drawn back to these snakes. Snake. There's just something sexy about snakes. So many visitors to the Louvre want to get a fun pic with their finger on the top, but they've actually set up boxes out here for people to stand on so they can get their finger up here, just get the perfect angle. What a fun one. Fun pic. Forever and ever and ever. Forever and ever.
Hey, it's me, the Mona Lisa. You've done your duty. Now you can go home and sleep well.